Welcome to our fantastic performance centre here once again at Howley Hall Golf Club in Leeds. I'm Ryan Rastall, equipment expert for Golfshake.com and PGA professional here at Howley Hall. Today we've got some new fairways from TaylorMade for you to take a look at. I've got the Stealth and the Stealth Plus titanium fairway wood. Many of you will have seen all the hype around Stealth as it's been released earlier this month, and you know there's good reason for that as well. TaylorMade have spent lots of money, R&D, into the new carbon wood design of their driver. Now these fairway woods have come out to complement that. They aren't carbon, so the faces aren't carbon, but they have brought the technology on again from what we saw in Sim 2 Max last year. So let's start with the Stealth Plus, so the titanium version of the fairway wood. Now, they've been making titanium fairway woods for a few generations of different woods now, TaylorMade have, and the Stealth Plus is the latest iteration of that really. But there's some nice changes to it as well. So we've got the V-steel sole that we've seen in some of the models, 80 grams of weight now in the bottom of this golf club. So that's really helping with the launch, moving the CG as well in the head to really give us that kind of launch that we're looking for in a fairway wood that we're probably going to use quite a lot off the tee as well. So we'd be expecting with the titanium model slightly maybe higher ball speed than we would get with the standard Stealth model due to the titanium face, but also some of the other technological elements in there as well. We've got similar looks to the Stealth driver, so it's this kind of matte carbon look to the top of the head. We've got a little bit of contrast with the glossier kind of leading edge there as well. The through slot speed pocket, which is in both models, again to really help with the flexion of the face when we don't hit the center of it, so we still get some decent ball speed when we're not hitting the middle of the face. And let's face it, we don't all do that all the time. I certainly don't anyway. And really that kind of help on miss hits is something that I think has been missing in previous generations of the titanium headed fairway woods from TaylorMade. They've all been really good, but when you don't hit the middle of the face, the distance drop off, ball speed drop off is very noticeable, and that's certainly what I found when I've tested them in the past. So pretty excited to give this a hit. Zatec is the titanium that's used in the face, so again that's super thin, super quick, and we should be getting some really good ball speed with this. But I would expect this model to spin slightly lower than this one, and also probably go a little bit further, but we'll see when we hit it. Well, you know, certainly in the past when I've used the titanium versus the standard models of TaylorMade fairway woods, I've found that the titanium one has gone a little bit further. But we've got the added bonus of adjustability with this model as well, so we can actually tweak the loft a little bit and also the lie and the head characteristics a little bit too. The shaft I've got in this one is hazardous, the RDX Smoke in 6.5, so I'm going to try that as well and see how that goes when we hit it on the Trackman. Moving on to the standard Stealth model. Now this is generally going to be the one that launches slightly higher, maybe spins a little bit more, is your fairway wood that's going to be fantastic from the ground as well as off the tee. Slightly bigger footprint when we sit it down there, and we see it's more kind of elongated, maybe triangular-ish kind of shape as it goes towards the back there. So there's a bit more weight further back in this golf club, slightly larger footprint when you sit it down on the floor. So we'd expect maybe slightly higher launch and spin from this model, which if you're playing it from the fairway a lot is something you're really going to want in order for you to actually hit the greens and stay on there. Whereas if you're going to use this more off the tee, potentially a lower spinning model, and maybe the titanium one when we have a hit with that, maybe a little bit better, but we'll see when we test it on the Trackman. The shaft I've got in this is the Ventus, so this is a shaft I've used before. I've got Ventus Black in one of my fairway woods that I use at the moment and found it really good. This red one, I've not tried it before, but really looking forward to it. 60 gram X Flex that I've got in here. So we're going to compare the two, have a bit of a look on the Trackman. But then I'm going to get out on the golf course, I'm going to hit a few off the tees, off the fairways here at Howley, and see exactly how they perform out there as well, because It's all well and good looking at the numbers on the Trackman, but we want to see how they are, you know, in the environment they're designed for, out on the golf course, and seeing how they perform from different lies and different types of shot that we're trying to hit. So weather dependent, hopefully I'm going to give them a good test when we get out there as well. But for now, let's hit some on the Trackman and see exactly how they perform. So I thought we'd just come out onto the golf course and see if what we saw in the Performance Centre is the same out here. So what I'm going to hit first is Stealth Fairway. So remember, inside we saw this was a little bit higher, a little bit more spinny, and didn't go quite as far as the titanium one. So we'll have a bit of a look. We'll hit a few down here. We're on the first tee here at Howley. So hopefully hit a couple down there and maybe have a bit of a comparison between the two when we hit them. So let's try a few of this. Good hit, nice little draw just down the left hand side there. Again, felt really nice and solid. Let's just hit one more. Now that we've got it outside, the head shape's a little bit less noticeable as well. It doesn't look quite as big as I thought it would when I was stood inside, but sounded really, really good off the face. That one as well, a little bit more left. It does have that bit of a draw look to it when you sit behind the ball. The face does just sit in a little bit, or toe in if you like. But again, still looks quite nice on the floor. So let's try the titanium one as well. So Stealth Plus. Get another couple of balls. Hit a few down there as well. And like I said inside, much prefer the look of this behind the ball. It certainly sits that bit squarer, a little bit more open with the club face. You can see the little alignment line on the top of it as well, which I don't actually mind. Some of you may do when you get to hit it, but let's try a few of this as well. Yeah, hit a little bit left, but decent enough strike. Just hit one more. Doesn't actually feel quite as solid as the standard Stealth model, and didn't sound quite as nice, I don't think. Again, decent hit just down the left hand side, but yeah, feels good off the face. You can feel that last one, I've hit it a little bit out the toe, and you can feel that kind of compression of the club head a little bit there, so it's helping you when you don't quite strike the middle of it. But if anything, I think I prefer the feel and the sound of the standard Stealth model, but we'll see when we get up there to see which one's gone a little bit further. So we've just got down here onto the fairway rough near the bunker down here. So I've just buzzed it back to where we hit it from, and it's about 260 to here from where I've just hit the balls from on the tee. So pretty decent distance, and considering how cold it is, and you know, there's a little bit of breeze here, the temperature's very, very low. We're getting towards the sort of end of the afternoon here, and it's about 3 or 4 degrees, so it's not ever so warm. But that first one I hit with a standard Stealth, we can see it's finished right on the edge of the bunker there, so probably about 270. That's pretty much what we were seeing inside anyway when we were hitting this fairway wood. The second one just short of the bunker, and the ones that I hit with the titanium just got them turning over a little bit. Obviously it was me, not the golf club, that's done that. You can see they're just down the left hand side there, but all pretty similar distances, to be honest, and kind of backed up what I saw in the Performance Centre. Whilst
the carry distances were all pretty similar. It was the spin on the titanium one that got us that bit more distance, and obviously in these conditions where it's a bit damp, the ball's not really running very far and it's freezing cold, it's good that we're still seeing that it's carrying a decent distance. And in terms of where the balls are landing, they're not too bad as well. I mean, even that furthest left one there, we've got a shot of the green of about 70 yards, so not too bad at all. But good to see them out on the golf course here, and also back up what we saw in the Performance Centre. So let's head back in there and have a bit of a look at what we thought overall.
Really was able to see the differences in these two fairway woods, and it certainly backed up what I saw on the Trackman as well. So the ball flight with the Stealth is higher, it does spin more, but enjoyed hitting them both. I think if I was to choose one, I think I would probably be leaning towards the Stealth, just purely because the titanium for me just went too far. It was a bit, not too low a trajectory, but kind of the spin's so low that when it hits the ground it runs. Obviously not this time of year when it's wet, but I think I would hit it pretty close to where I'm hitting a driver, to be honest, which may sound a good thing. And if you're that type of player who doesn't like hitting a driver, maybe one of these in a slightly stronger loft. So this does come in 3 different lofts, so you can get it in the 13.5 Rocket 3-wood, the 15 that I've got here, or in a 19 as well. So it's an option for you there really to have a club that instead of using a driver, you could pop one of these in the bag. It's pretty easy to hit. It's nice and forgiving, certainly more forgiving than any titanium model of TaylorMade's fairway woods that I've used in the past. And it might be a good option for you there. But I just felt that the versatility of this, even though I don't quite like the look of it sat behind the ball as much as the titanium one, I found that I could do a bit more with it. I could hit some cuts and some draws with it. It was easy to flight. I think I'd want it, if I was hitting it into a green, I'd want one of these to stop it. Potentially, I mean, if you're going to have a couple of fairway woods, you may have a 3-wood in this and a 5-wood potentially in this. So you've got that kind of versatility of the ball flights and the spins and things like that. But I enjoyed hitting them both. And if we have a bit of a look at the Trackman numbers that we collected from before we went out, we can see it kind of backs up what I saw on the golf course, really. So with the Stealth Plus, we're seeing slightly lower spin, a bit more distance, a little bit more carry, which we'd expect, and a little bit more spin, about 400 RPM-ish more with the Stealth model as opposed to the titanium. So there is a difference there. I mean, it's not massive if you look at the distances I'm hitting. One thing that I didn't think I'd be that keen on, really, is this alignment aid that's etched on the top of the face. And to be honest, you hardly really notice it when you sit it down. I really do like the look of these sat behind the ball better than the Sim and Sim 2 models that have come before it. I think that kind of all black look on the top of it certainly, to me, looks a bit more premium. I quite like it. There's still that bit of contrast between the sort of top edge of the golf club in that glossy kind of finish versus the matte of the carbon on the top of the crown there. So for those of you that have liked TaylorMade woods in the past, they're still going to look very much like what you've had. But performance-wise, I thought these were really good. I've struggled when I've tried fairway woods from TaylorMade in the past to get a consistent flight with them, and I found this one really consistent and this one really long. So depending on what you want off the tee or off the fairway when you're playing, depends which one of these models to choose. But as we always say, you've got to go and get custom fitted. Go and try them out. I've obviously had different shafts in both of these as well, which have probably added to the slight difference in the performance. But from what you saw on the Trackman there, the dispersions were pretty similar. The distances weren't too dissimilar. The flight and the height of the ball flight I was getting wasn't too dissimilar when I tested it in here. Let us know what you think. Do you like the look of these new fairway woods? I know the drivers have really gone down well with everybody out there who's looked at the reviews and kind of commented about the looks. Most people have absolutely loved it, and seeing the guys on tour use it straight away as well kind of validates it a little bit more. You're going to see a lot of these fairway woods out there as well on tour this year. But yeah, let us know what you think. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments section below. And if you want to know anything more about custom fitting or anything more about products from TaylorMade, please drop us a comment in there as well. If you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button too. See loads more content from all of us here at Golfshake to help you play more and play better. But in the meantime, I'm going to go hit a few more with these.